we get into the Catelynn and Tyler story, you guys, I really wanted to discuss this with you guys because I found it to be absolutely insane. Like and by the way, there was a TikTok user who got that screen grab of Kale's rant about Chris, and I want to give her a shout out. It's Jessie 2022-121. So shout out to you, Jessie, for that clip. Okay. Now, I wanted to get into this Catelynn and Tyler episode specifically because I found it really fascinating how we all know, because of them, they've been quite open about the fact that Brendan and Teresa have blocked them, right, over this inappropriate behavior in regard to Carly and whatnot. Kate sending a lot of overwhelming text messages when they have specifically requested that she chill out. She's been trying to forcefully send all of these gifts that they do not want to receive on behalf of Carly. All sorts of things, right? Well, now on today's episode of Kate and Ty's Break It Down podcast, you have them talking about how they want to be the ones, or they are the ones who have put their foot down, or put their feet down when it comes to their relationship with Brandon and Teresa. And so I want to go ahead and share that with you guys. I don't know where that audio just came from, by the way, you guys. Are you guys hearing an audio? Uh-oh. Here's what I gotta do. Hang on. I don't know where that audio is coming from. This is the Real Housewives of Potomac somewhere in the background. Okay, I just turned it off. So I've got the podcast episode here. I'm going to go ahead and play it, and y'all let me know what you think about Kate and Ty drawing a line in the sand when it comes to Brandon and Teresa.
And for me, I'm sad for me that I get to miss out on that beautiful human, and and not knowing like what she wants. Like, does she want to be a part of us too? Like, I don't know. And I think that goes on to the next question of like an update on our adoption situation with her. Nothing. Really? Yeah. But the only update that I do have is that about, like, I would say 6 months ago, I realized, because I would always still randomly text Teresa because I just want to have that for Carly. And
as a record, pretty much, I reached out.
Yeah. Like, I always continue to reach out, even if I was blocked or whatever. So I would say a good, like, 6 months ago, I realized that I wasn't blocked anymore. And so then still just like once a month, I would, even not being blocked anymore, I still would send like, here's the kids. I sent like the kids' first day of school picture and
the stuff that we usually normally did before.
Yeah. And still, obviously she still doesn't reply to me or answer me or nothing like that or whatever.
Here's a question for you. Would you rather her just have you blocked though? So that way you wouldn't get the delivered mess. Like you wouldn't, do you know what I'm saying?
Because I feel like
I was going to say I don't know what would be, for me personally, I don't think you just block my ass. So that way I don't have to sit here and question, you read it, but you're not responding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Obviously sometimes I would, when I wrote like this whole apology out and said like, I would, in the future, if we can have a conversation, as four adults, like I'm here for it or whatever. No, because I felt like it was the same. You weren't answering me before. You're not answering me now. I think, even when our adoption was still, open, there was still plenty of times where you just blatantly ignored me and wouldn't answer my questions anyways. But I think just like after I, not being blocked and reaching out every now and then, I think it kind of, I don't know, maybe it just kind of, in a sense, going through everything that we went through, it was like, this is who they are as people. And, I'm not just going to sit here and say things like shame them or whatever. But then I kind of got to the point where I was like, you know what? We have the email that we started for Carly. And I was like, I'm going to write to Teresa one last time and say, listen, I've apologized. I have tried to open the door to say like, hey, let's have a conversation. And you're still just ignoring me and all these things. And I just kind of told her, I said, this is the last text message you're ever going to receive from me ever again. Mm-hmm. I will continue to just, I will write to Carly's email when I have the urge of like wanting to send you an update or something. Yeah, right. I will send it here. And I said, and that's I'm not reaching out to you anymore. Like I'm done.
She's 16, she's into 18 years, and she'll be an adult and can handle it on her own. It's funny because I feel like me and you we're on the same side of the plank, just I'm on one side, you're on the other side in it. And I've been on this side for a while where I'm like, I'm never going to, I reach out to Brandon. I said father to father.
Yeah, but at least he actually responded to you.
He did. You're right though. Uh-huh. He did respond to me. You're right. And I felt good doing that. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, and I will be writing to the email from here on out. Like that was kind of like my own version of like, I'm done.
But you wanted to write to him and say, like, I'm so thankful for the dad that you are.
Well, I actually wrote him. I said, I was like, just in case we never speak again, I want you to know, bam, bam,
this
bam,
is what I think of you as a dad.
This is what I'm thankful and grateful to you.
Like, it was very sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just wanted to end it that way for myself. And then I told you, I was like, I'm just gonna be writing to the email every time I get an urge or think of her or whatever, and you know, instead of going that route, which always is met with
right.
I'm just gonna go this route. I mean, I feel like I don't know. I just feel I feel a lot more peace doing it that way, because now it's almost like it reminds me of, like, even though I know she's older now, but it almost reminds me of like me doing like people do baby books. Like, they know they're not going to understand this right now.
Yeah, until they're older.
But it's going to be important to them one day if they choose to, want it.
Right.
And so that's kind of the way I feel about it, which gives me more peace, because then it's like, well, this is just a me and Carly thing. I don't need Teresa. I don't need Brandon. I don't need adoption or any of this to be involved. This is just about me and her and what I want to say.
And one day too, it's like, you guys, she's getting older. One day too, like, she'll be able to look at everything that we have, everything that they have, everything that we've said, everything that they've said, and she'll be able to make the opinions for herself, whatever that is. And I made it a point, and I told Teresa in the text when I said, this is my last text with you, and I said, but I want to let you know, I will be putting in there every time that I have reached out. I will put from the beginning to the end, so she can see, maybe how sometimes I was a little angry and wrote you, and maybe sometimes you were angry and you wrote me, but like, everything will be important. In there.
Yeah, it's important.
And it's important for her to see how many times I reached out and continue to do so. Even when you had me blocked, even when her sisters were crying and wanted to talk to her, whatever it was, like, it's important for her to see the full picture. On your guys' side and our side.
And that's why it's kind of crazy, because I remember it kept asking you, we've had this email for a while now, and you never wrote to it. I'm like, why are you not writing to her email?
I know.
So there you go, you guys. Brandon and Teresa are still not interested in responding to Kate and Ty. And instead of just accepting that fact and maybe reflecting on how messaging with a bunch of minors through a secret phone and trying to make sure they keep it hidden from their parents and whatnot, how that might have contributed, even further to this alienated sort of relationship that they have with them, right? They're now saying, well, we've written to them and we said, this is it. You've shown us the type of people that you are. Now we're only going to write to this Carly email. And in this Carly email, they said that they want to include screenshots of their conversations with Brandon and Teresa to show Carly that they had always tried to reach out and that Brandon and Teresa were ignoring them. And it's like a snitch kind of hotline for the two of them or something like that. And it's just so like, oh my God, you guys, give it up. Give it up. You guys behaved so inappropriately when it came to that situation with texting minors. Like, as adults, especially as parents, you know how inappropriate it is to be texting with children, right? Telling children to keep secrets from their parents, having debates with children about their religion and telling them they're brainwashed and all this other type of stuff. Like, everything about those conversations that we're having were insanely inappropriate. So after being exposed for that, turning around, contacting the parents of the child who you were trying to alienate from them, and expecting responses like nothing ever happened, right? And you're sending these pictures of your other kids and whatnot. It's just so delusional and insane that I do not even have the words for it at all. It's very disappointing, because at first, that's my washing machine. I don't know. Nobody's getting beat up back there, for owing me money. Don't worry. That's just my washing machine. At first they had a really good relationship with Brandon and Teresa. However, they kept on crossing boundaries. And then this kind of weird tech situation with the children was just a step way too far, right? So I don't understand how, when they've already been blocked, Brandon and Teresa are the ones who already drew a line in the sand. How do you turn around and claim that you're the one who cut them off? It just doesn't make any kind of sense at all, right? Just saying. Thanks to Snaps. If you guys are enjoying today's episode of the show, please don't forget to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy my content, right? And exactly, Becky, talking ish about the parents will surely get Carly to love them. It's crazy. It's absolutely, they've been handling this completely wrong. And, I've always been really sympathetic to them and their story. I do think that they were exploited. I think that they were manipulated. They were way too young for all of this that they went through. And especially coming from the type of background that they have with with severely uneducated, abusive parents, like no safety, like nothing. Like they were really put in an extremely difficult situation, right? They were just, it sucked. It really did. But the way that they've been handling this as adults, especially as parents to multiple children, has been really, really disappointed. And I agree with you too, Carly, that the trust is gone and it'll never come back. And they may have sacrificed any potential future relationship with Carly for what? To appear a certain way on TV, on social media, for what? You know what I mean? Like sacrificing a relationship with your real life child for clout, for what, is absolutely insane. Shelby says, Carly and me very well be over it. My child is 19 and what's nothing to do with her bio parent or family, despite my encouragement. And I am so proud of my child for standing up for her feelings. And I think that's so beautiful, Shelby. Honestly, first of all, it's really beautiful that you've even stepped up to raise a child that's not biologically yours, and for you to try to connect your child to their biological parents, and also accepting the fact that they don't want that type of a relationship as well. What a beautiful story overall. Cammy says they shouldn't tell Carly about the drama with her adoptive parents, and that's the thing, right? Like they've already crossed these boundaries with Brandon and Teresa, and here they are running to Carly because Carly's like 17 years old now, they said. Running to her, getting ready to like stoke the flames of all this drama. Like, look what they did. They ignored my text. I sent them like this type of stuff. Like, come on, like come from a healthy place. Lord have mercy, right? Boom. Mocha says these two knew they crossed the line and can't take responsibility for that. So using her sister's crying because they couldn't talk to her is crazy. They act like they had a co-parenting situation, right? In their heads, it was co-parenting, it was babysitting, it was temporary. And again, that comes down to real expectations not being properly communicated by the adoptive parents or the adoption counselor, right? And it's just so disappointing when such young kids from such a survivalist kind of background, where there's no love, there's no security, whether it's emotional security, financial security, shelter security, nothing, fall into this kind of situation. It's sad and it's scary, and I hate this for them. B-Wise, you're able to see me now. I'm so happy. So while we were watching the Kale video earlier, B-Wise was not able to see it. She was just getting a black screen, but I'm glad that you're finally able to see. Nice to see you, Boo. Carly says self-awareness and common sense are dying. They truly are. Just be humble, come and admit your faults, right? And then maybe you'll be able to move forward. But this is just not the way to do it, y'all. It's not. And thanks, Dwana. I need to go back and get more of my gloss. This, I have Night Moth from MAC, the purple that you're seeing, but I had like this nude gloss somewhere from NYX, but I don't know what I did with it. Womp, womp, womp. But ooh, we got a massive super chat from East. Awesome. Damn. Boom. Thanks so much for the massive super chat. That's nice of you. East Austin says, Grace, I just wanted to say I really appreciate everything you do, not just keeping us entertained, but the company. Oh, this is so sweet. The companies between meetings too. You make the day feel a little lighter. Oh my God, East Awesome. That is so amazing. Thank you so much. And, thank you to you too. Listen, I always tell you guys that, being here, being able to chat with you guys also makes my day as well. If I'm going through some things, life is lifing, or if I'm feeling sick, or if I'm feeling that, like being on the line with you guys is just such a great way to forget about all the other, stuff, I've got going on in life sometimes. So it's definitely a two-way street. So thank you so much. And thanks for always being here as well. You've been here like from day one, like every single morning report. And I really appreciate that. So thanks, Boo. Thank you. Becky says they were taken advantage of completely, but they're doing this all wrong now. Exactly. Right. And that's what makes it so sad, because their story is super duper sympathetic. However, they are not handling this correctly. They're grown. They've got children of their own. They should not be running around behind other people's children, trying to build some sort of like secret telephone network to get to another child. It's weird and it's creepy and it's inappropriate. Good morning, Summer Breeze. Nice to see you. Shelby says maybe she shouldn't be sending her kids school pictures, but just a simple, I hope Carly is enjoying her new school year. She always made it about including Carly in their lives, not about knowing Carly. Exactly. I think that one of the things that Teresa had said as their relationship was becoming super duper rocky was it was hard for Carly, this whole thing about them having other children. Like, why am I, why did you give me away? Why am I the one, out of the family when you have all these other kids? Well, is something wrong with me? Like, that's kind of what she was going through, that phase. So it only exacerbates that when you continuously send all these like happy family, look at all, you know what I mean? These pictures, and that's just not sinking into Kate. And I think that was really frustrating for Teresa particularly. And I can understand why, because it's like, listen, these photos are great and everything, but I can't show them to my daughter because this causes her a lot of distress. She feels like she was kicked out of a family or something, or she wasn't good enough to stay with you guys. She doesn't understand the full story yet. So why don't we calm down, and just talk about her and how she's doing and focus on that for now. BB says, can we cancel Kate and Ty? Well. Tyler gave groomer vibes with those don't tell anyone messages. Listen, y'all, again, super sympathetic to Kate and Ty, but it is true. Those messages were wholly inappropriate. No grown person should ever be telling a child, oh, don't tell anything. Keep this secret from your parents. Well, ugh. It was disgusting. Obviously he wasn't trying to have an actual relationship with these kids or anything like that, but it was wholly inappropriate. It really, really was. Right. I don't know why, you guys, but I suddenly got hang on. I have to look this up. Sometimes where you just suddenly taste a food. I haven't eaten Subway in maybe like 5 years. You don't really see Subway like that in Paris. So now I'm like, oh, I got to look up Subway. Where can I find a Subway? Because I suddenly got a tasting for a cold cut sub, or what is that? No, like a turkey sub, a turkey with Swiss cheese sub. Oh Lord, I have to find me a Subway. Maybe that's what I'll have for dinner tonight. Lord, does that happen to anybody else? Like just out of the blue like that? Boom. Becky says, stop talking about them on social media, and Tyler, stop showing us your meat. And that is something that they discussed in their previous week's episode of the podcast. They denied that Tyler is walking around going commando with the kids and whatnot. But again, listen, if everybody sees it, and finds it inappropriate, something is going on, Tyler. Just saying. Hey, Jess, MUA, nice to see you. I love your hair in your picture. You look lovely. Yeah, a mess. Kate and Ty, please get it together, y'all. Get it together, because this is not going to do anything to help your relationship. And again, having an email address for Carly where you're going to go and share all of the drama that you've had with her parents, like pointing the finger and whatnot, it's not going to get you anywhere. In fact, it's only going to further alienate you from her. So just keep it positive. Keep your pictures, maybe keep your pictures there, right? And how you always make place or room for her, how you guys celebrate her birthday amongst you guys, all that sort of thing. Keep the positives, keep her out of, protect her from this stuff. I don't understand, why they would subject her to this kind of, distressful triangle or whatever you want to call it between, you guys and her parents. It's just not cool at all. It really, really isn't. I do feel as though Kate and Ty are emotionally immature. Sorry, but I do. Allie says, if my biological parents had kids together and didn't keep me, would have broken me growing up. Exactly. Right. And I think Carly's feelings are so normal. And I don't understand why Kate and Ty cannot sympathize with that and cannot understand that or respect that by just asking Carly how she's doing and focusing on her rather than kind of like throwing her sisters in her face. You know what I mean? Because yes, they are technically her sisters, but again, Carly has a brother in her family and everything. It's just not a connection yet. You have to wait and leave it alone for the time being. And, unfortunately, John, I do agree. It's disappointing. It is. I think they mean well, but again, I think that they're just emotionally immature. Sometimes people do things, with malicious intent. And then sometimes people do things just because they're emotionally immature. They don't understand, ils rendent pas compte, comme on dit en français. It doesn't register for them. Thanks, Jaleesa. Thank you. It's the Root Hider 2000. Hey, Ramel, hope you're doing well, boo. Happy Thursday. Shit I see on the internet. That's funny. That's spelling. It's more about what Kate and Tyler want versus what Carly needs. They need to realize that. And I agree. They love Carly. They want the best for Carly. However, that emotional immaturity is whooping their asses. Ramel says, I don't understand them either. Just wait until Carly is ready. It's giving they're doing it for attention. Exactly. Carly is 17. Please, can y'all not shut the hell up for 365 damn days? So you could have even a 1% chance of having a good relationship with her. You know what I mean? Like, please, that's all we're asking. Mocha says they have 3 other kids, but they make Carly the star of the family and they never talk about anything else. And they use the kids to get to Carly. Exactly. Whatever therapy or whatever they were doing, which is just not working. They need to, go back to the drawing board and regroup a little bit. BB says it's not that Kate and Ty don't understand, it's that their supporters back stupid actions. Or maybe that's it. Right? That is true that some of these people, like, they could be terrible, like the Janelles and the Ambers, like they'll still have supporters like, yeah, you're doing everything right, don't worry. And maybe that blowing that smoke up their asses, shooting them in the foot a little bit, right? Never say never, but unfortunately, I think the bridge is burned forever. Unfortunately, Shelby, I do think that you are right. Anyway, you guys, listen, I do think that Kate and Ty are going to continue to talk a little bit about their relationship or lack thereof with Carly's parents, Brandon and Teresa, on their podcast. So I will continue to listen in from time to time. I do not listen to every single episode. However, whenever they hint at talking about their personal lives, I am in there like swimwear.